back to my channel too, The Witchy Reader. So I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated reads. These are just the ones I'm most excited for. Whether or not I'll get to them soon is a whole other question. But not all of these are exactly new releases. I think I actually did choose a bunch of like either they, even if they are already released, they haven't been released too long, or maybe they're not released yet. Um, but there are some that aren't new releases that I've just been meaning to read and haven't gone to yet. Um, so yeah, let's get into it. And there are a few on here that surprised me because I wouldn't say completely opposite of my reading taste. It's just, if you know anything about me from watching my channel, my main thing is fantasy. I'm called the Witchy Reader for a reason because I love fantasy, witches, magic. Definitely my favorite genre. Will always be my favorite genre, but I have explored other genres of late. And I do really enjoy mystery and horror. I mean, I always like to watch mystery and horror, but up until last maybe couple years, I haven't read much mystery and horror. And I've been liking it. Fantasy's still my favorite. Nothing beats fantasy, at least in my book. But I like exploring a little bit. I mean, there's some things I'll never really explore. Like you'll probably never catch me reading just a plain romance. Like romance is a subplot, fine. If you like romance, fine. It's just I don't like watching. I don't like reading something that's literally just the entire plot is two characters getting together. Like there has to be more to it than that. But that's just me. Um, but yeah. Uh, but so here is a list of books that I've just and have been anticipating, whether or not they haven't come out yet, whether or not I just haven't gone to it yet. So let's jump into it. First book I want to mention is something I'm technically reading. I'm beta reading it, so it's not actually out right yet. But I've been anticipating this for so long, ever since the author was talking about it on social media. I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds so good. I need it like ASAP. I finally have it, and I'm on chapter 4 or 5. I really just started reading it yesterday, and I just wanted to give it a shout out because I have been waiting for this for so long, and it's called A Dance of Bow and Blade by Ellie Lieberman. If you know anything about me, I've read like all of her books, and I've been beta reading some of her books lately too. I beta read so yeah, and I've been waiting for this book. Okay, and I'm already loving it. Like I'm already loving the relationship between these two characters, and it's also perfect read for this month because it is Sapphic September and it is a Sapphic read, and yeah. So I'm loving the relationship between the two main characters, and there's so many lines. I don't want to get too much into it because, like I said, I don't want to spoil it because it's not even out yet. And once I finish it, I do plan to do a film a book review as I do with all indie reads I read. And I'll try not to be too spoilery on that too because it's not out yet. But I am loving it, and I can't wait to talk about it more once it is published, and I can start saying, "Hey, I love this line," because I'm waiting till it's published before I reveal some of the epic lines. Because I'm only on chapter, what did I say, 4 or 5, and there are already so many thought-provoking lines, and I'm already loving it so much, and I knew I was going to. So yes, I'm so excited to finally be reading this. Like I've been waiting forever to get my hands on this. And Ellie Lieberman has become one of my favorite authors. She's one of the very few authors that I've read, or at least trying to read all of their work, because I'm trying to get through all of Erin Hunter's books too. But Erin Hunter has a lot of books, and everyone knows that Erin Hunter is my favorite author, and Secrets is like my favorite read of all time. So yeah. And I got a little ranty there. So let's move on to the next book on my list. So this is also by Ellie Lieberman, and that is, I think the book title for it is When the Morning Comes. It is the fourth book in the B series, which I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about this series on my channel before because it has become one of my favorite series of all time. I love it, and I really I read them like on like KU, or if they were sent to me by the author. So I think I own these books physically, but I definitely want to buy these books physically, reread them because I haven't read them in a while. And yeah, I'm so excited to reread these. I'm so excited to read this this book. Is the last book in the series. I mean, she is planning like a short story sort of collection that has to do with some of the characters, which I'll be all excited for too. But I have been waiting for book 4 of this series, well, since book 3. Actually, I think I've been waiting for this since book 2, actually, because um book 3 was a bit different because the series is a bit different because it's kind of published out of order. But and I've been waiting for this because Ari was in book 1 and she hasn't been on since, okay? But she's supposed to be on this book and she's supposed to finally meet the characters from book 2, okay? And I've been waiting for this. And I'm like, I can't express how excited I actually am for these characters to meet, especially Ari and Elsbeth, especially the way she's been teasing it. Like, oh my gosh, this relationship is gonna be good because they're gonna butt heads so much, but I can see them actually forming some sort of bond, even though they probably won't admit it. Like, that's just my theory. Like, I can see them like actually care about each other, but not want to admit that they care about each other because they're too stubborn. And I'm just, this has got to be one of my most anticipated releases. At like just completely anticipated releases like right now. Like I cannot express. I'm getting a little flustered. I can't express how excited I am for this book, but I also don't want it to come at the same time because I'm not ready for the story and these characters to end because I am obsessed. Okay, obsessed. It is a bit bittersweet though because of what happened at the end of book 1, and that character's not gonna be on for obvious reasons. But I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't read. But yeah, so because book 4 follows, because technically book 2 and 3 were before book 1, and then book 4 actually starts after book 1. Okay, so I've been waiting for this forever, especially since I love Ari so much. When I read about Ari, I was like, she had become one of my favorite characters, and I absolutely love her. I'm so excited to get more of her, especially because, like I said, I'm gonna get her meeting the characters from book 2, and I'm like, I need this, like, immediately. Like, just give it to me. I'm so ready. I'm so pumped for this book. Okay, moving on. I think you get the gist. um, so the next books in Towers of Memory series by Alyssa Louses. I don't think either book 5 or 6 are published yet, even though they are completed. Um, I might be wrong. But last time I talked to her, I think she said they weren't um published yet. Book 6 she finished not that long ago, and now she's working on book 7. And but she did send me books 5 and 6. Right now I am beta reading *In Dance of Bow and Blade* by Ellie Lieberman, but book 5 is probably one of the books I'm starting next. Because I've been waiting for this, and I'm so excited, even though I'm also so scared because she's been teasing something that happens. Sorry, I had my microphone. She's been teasing something that happens. In book. I think I've been sitting too far away from my microphone, so I don't know how well you've been hearing me. But she's been teasing something that happens at the end of book 6, and I'm scared, especially since Ellie has already read it, and it crushed her. So I'm scared. So I think I've been procrastinating just a little bit because I'm scared. But I'm also really excited for book 5 because I'm pretty sure you find out more about Red and stuff. And I'm so excited to find out more about Red and that mystery. And so that's going to be very good. But am I procrastinating to read book 6? Yes. Am I excited to read book 5? Yes. I know I'm gonna love book 6 too. I'm just a little scared of, having my heart crushed. But, that's what happens when you're a reader. And an author, because authors love to crush hearts. I mean, I do the same thing, so who am I to judge? uh, and then book 6 in the Mantis Clan series by Adam Andrews Johnson. I don't even know if he's started working on it yet because I know he's been working on other projects as well. So I don't know if he's even started it. But I do know that I'm excited for it because I've talked about the series on this channel. I've done reviews for the books, and I've mentioned them in like reading vlogs and other videos, I'm sure. like wrap ups and stuff, and I absolutely love the series. It's was my first real horror series that I read because, like I said, I love horror movies. I never really delved into horror books, um, but I absolutely love it, and it's so good. And I love the characters, and yes, some of the books have crushed me, especially the first one. I'm still not over that ending. I'm still sad about it, but I just love it. It has this like queer normative world. Like there's so much stuff going on in the world that nobody cares about, queer people just living. And I'm like, I did the same thing in my Monster Realm series, so I love it. And there's so many. I love the found family. I'm a sucker for found family. I also love the fact that he brought in something that is kind of controversial in today's society, unfortunately, with drag queens. And he made like the drag queens like own like an orphanage sort of thing. And I'm like, I love that because drag queens are awesome and they deserve more praise. And I just love that little thing that he did. But I love the found family. I love the mystic and his husband. I love everything. It's such a good series, and I'm so excited for the next book because I love the series and I can't get enough of it. Um, so this is the last. So the Empire of Damnation by T.M. Cole, last book in the Warriors of Brea series. So, this book came out a bit ago. I mean, not too long ago, but a good while ago. And I love this series, but life got in the way, and I still haven't started it. I actually own the physical copies of the first four books, and I was thinking about reading this on KU, but I was like, you know what? I already own the first four books, and it's been a while since I've read them. So I was thinking about because I bought those and I read those, but it was before I bought a new set of tabs, so they're not even tabbed. And anyone who knows me knows I love to tab my books as well. And so I was thinking about rereading them so that I can tab them, and then buy the fifth book, the physical form of the book, and then just read that and tab it as I read it. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. So when I'm ready to buy the book and when I can buy the book, then I'll probably start rereading, and then I can read the fifth book finally. So hopefully that'll happen by the end of the year. But we'll see how that goes. Um but yeah, I'm so excited for this book. It's the last book in the Warriors of Brea series, and I have been loving the Warriors of Brea series as far as I read. Like, I only read the first four, but I absolutely love them. Like, they're just so good, and I definitely highly recommend it. Basically, in it, like, Lauren ends up in a different world. Turns out that one of her parents were actually from this world, which surprised her, and but she doesn't understand this world. And then she meets Val, who is a prince. And I loved because in the third book they end up in, I think it was the third book. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the third book. But correct me if I'm wrong. They end up back in Lauren's world, Val and her, and Val is not. So it was so fun watching Val teach Lauren about this world in the first book, and then in the third book you get Lauren teaching Val of the modern day things, and I loved it. But yeah, highly recommend this series. I'm so excited to finally read book 5. I know I'm gonna love it, but I'm also scared for it to end because that's how I always feel at the end of a series I love. So yeah, always bittersweet. So Bamboo Kingdom by Aaron Hunter, my first and one of the very few non-indie books on my list. As you can tell, I've mostly been into indie books lately. But like I mentioned earlier, Aaron Hunter is my favorite author, and Secrets is my favorite series. I have been reading Warriors. I've been rereading the books that I've already read back when I was 17-ish. I think it was around 17 when I read the books because I borrowed them from my friend when we were 17. Um, well, she would have been 16 because she's a year younger than me. But yeah, and because she loves Warriors, and I let her borrow my secret books, and we kind of did a swap. Um, but now I own most of the Warrior series. There's still quite a few I need to buy, but yeah. So I'm almost caught up. I mean, I'm caught up with the main series. I'm just reading a few of the super editions I've already read, and then I was going to go to the third series, which I haven't read yet. Um, but I want Bamboo Kingdom is Aaron Hunter's newest series, and it's about pandas, and I love pandas. I love all bears. Okay, the reason why I read Seekers originally was because I had bears on it. I just keep rereading it like 100 times at least because I just love the series. But I'm not gonna lie, it was probably the only series I've ever actually judged it based on the cover, and I definitely read it because of the cover, and the cover had bears. Because I might be one of the very few people who actually doesn't care about what the cover looks like to judge a book. Okay, I will literally, if the title and I feel like the title is what actually hooks me, and then I decide to read the back, and if the back hooks me, then I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna read this. Because yeah, so but yeah, see, panda. I love bears. I have a bear there. That's a black bear. I also have a brown bear over there. I don't. You can't see from this angle, can you? Dee bear picture. And then I have See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil with pandas. I have a whole bunch of bear stuffed animals, mostly under my desk, so you can't see them. And then so many bear figurines by my window over there, but they're too small for you to see from here. But I have an obsession with bears, okay? Very big obsession, if that was not clear. um, so yeah. So when I found out that Aaron Hunter had a new series out and it was focused on bears again, I was like, oh my gosh. Once again, for the second time in my life, judging a book based on its cover because I want all the bears. um, but I actually own the first 3 books. The first book was gifted to me when by a friend of mine a few years back, and then I bought the second and third. And I think the first 6 are out in the first series. Whether or not there's gonna be a second series, I don't know yet. But I did read the first book, but I decided to wait till I can get books 4, 5, and 6 to read all 6 of them back to back. So I hope to do that. Um, maybe not this year, but hopefully by the beginning of next year I can do that because I really loved the first book when I read it, and I really want to read the rest of the series. And I think the 6th book came out not too long ago, maybe a few months at most. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it came out not too long ago. So yeah. I also have Survivors and Bravelands on this list. They are not new by any means. They're also by Aaron Hunter. Survivors I own all of, I think, unless there's been new ones that I wasn't aware of, which has 12 books plus a novella, I think. And Bravelands I used to own. Back when I did own it, there was only 6 books. I think there might be more than that by now. I think there might be like 12 now. But that is one of the book series that did not survive the fire I had in, was it 2022? I think it's somewhere around that. I might be wrong, but it might have been closer to 2020 to be honest. But anyways, so it did not survive. So I do not own those books anymore. But I do want to buy those books again and finally read them because I didn't read them when I owned them. So yeah. Then I also have another non-indie book, which is The Court of the Dead by Rick Riordan. I got to Percy Jackson a lot later in life than I feel like a lot of people. I feel like I was around 20-ish when I actually started reading the Percy Jackson series, and I actually really did love it. I don't know why I waited so long to read it, but I absolutely loved The Sun and the Star, which had to do with Nico and Will, because I love Nico. He's one of my favorite characters, and Nico and Will is my second favorite couple in the Percy Jackson universe after Percy and Annabeth, obviously, but I do love Nick and Will, and honestly, they very well could become my favorite. I don't know. I feel like now that I've seen more of Nick and Will because of they finally got their own book, they were always kind of like in the background. So now that they have their own book, I love them so much that they might be kind of even with Percy and Annabeth at this point. I just love Nick and Will's relationship, and I was so happy when I found out they were getting their own book. So I was so excited about that. And now there's a sequel to their own book, which is also gonna have Hazel, Nico's half sister from the Heroes of Olympus series. And but I'm pretty sure Will's supposed to be in it as well. So there's gonna be more Nico and Will, which makes me so excited because I do love them. So I can't wait to get more of them. The Court of the Dead, I'm not sure if it's out yet, and if it is out, it like just came out. I think it came out this month actually. I don't remember what day, but I'm pretty sure it came out just this month. So it is pretty new. But yeah, I'm excited to read that. Um, So now I have Liarland by Madison Rupp. This is I discovered Madison Rupp on I hope I'm saying her name right. On TikTok, and then I accidentally came across it on Twitter while scrolling, and I was like, these books sound interesting. She writes kind of mystery, and I think she might have a horror series out there, but I feel like it's a lot of mystery, and I'm very excited for Liarland. It sounds very interesting, and I'm pretty sure there's a sequel that's pretty new. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure she released it not that long ago. So I'm very excited for Liarland. It seems very interesting. Basically, after her best friend Valerie disappears, an anonymous account slides into Gwen's DMs with a deal: help shut down Pineland or Valerie will die next. Between shady operations and freak accidents, it shouldn't be too hard to tarnish Pineland's already declining reputation. But why is the killer so desperate to close the park? Anxious to get Valerie out alive, Gwen hatches a plan of her own, enlisting the help of her cute but off-limits neighbor. She schemes to unravel the killer's identity. The race is on to unmask the murderer before anyone else's life goes downhill. So yeah, that sounds very interesting, and I'm very excited. I also have Death Dates on this list, also by Madison Rupp. I think there's only one book, and I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be a series either. And I'm a little more unsure about this one. But like I said, I've been going a little bit out of my comfort zone. But the only reason why I want to read this book, which has my absolute least favorite trope of all time, is because I love when there's a twist to an overdone trope, okay? And I love this because there is love triangle, which I hate love triangles. A lot of times they are stupid and pointless, and the person ends up choosing the wrong person, or I don't think either thing suits it, and it's like, why are you going back and forth and playing with people's hearts? Like, I just don't usually like it. I liked the love triangle in Legend of Korra, but that's only because at the end the two girls were like, let's forget the guy and get together instead," and I was all here for it. So, but this one, the love triangle is killer, literally. At the center of Skylar, a hopeless romantic with a knack for attracting the afterlife. However, nothing haunts Skylar more than the unrequited crush she has on her long-term friend Caleb. She spends every summer at his family's Erie Lake House and is determined this is the year she finally gets over him. As if he stops smiling at her like that, she might actually succeed. When Skylar meets a new house guest, Mateo, she realizes getting over her crush might not be so challenging after all, especially because he seems to understand her draw to the dead like no other. But as tempting as it may be, fraternizing with Caleb's friend would be a bad idea, right? Torn between the two boys, Skylar begins to receive anonymous love notes and gruesome tokens of affection. Her mysterious secret admirer's messages picked wisely, but as Skylar desperately digs up the admirer's identity, she realizes a far more sinister plot is afoot. If she wants to survive the summer, she better hope her heart doesn't lead her straight into a horror story. So I think that's kind of interesting. So yeah, and I'm very intrigued by that notion. So now I have on my list Carnival Kills by Caesar Daniels. Once again, this is like more horror, but it seems very interesting, so I'm excited for it. In 1965, the infamous Red Hook Jack turned a small carnival into a blood-soaked nightmare, leaving behind a legacy of terror. His name became legend in Hollow Creek. Now, nearly 20 years later, spring break 1986, Maddie and her friends set out. I lost it. Set out for a lakeside getaway for a weekend of fun. However, on the last night of the trip, their dream vacations turned to a waking nightmare when they visit the local rundown park, Hollow Creek's Carnival. A copycat killer has emerged, reviving Red Hook Jack's reign of terror. Trapped in a twisted carnival of death, Maddie and her friends find themselves unwilling players in a sinister game, one where every attraction hides a gruesome fate and every game comes with deadly stakes. As the body count rises and the carnival transforms into a slaughterhouse, Maddie must confront a horrifying truth. This isn't just a random massacre. The motive, revenge, and she's stuck at the heart of it. So that definitely sounds interesting. And this, another sort of horror related book, is The Wedding Cake by Zachary and Andrea Greeton. Hopefully I'm saying the name right. I always feel like I'm pronouncing these names wrong, but maybe I'm not. So this one is when a lavish wedding at an isolated Maine resort turns into a blood-soaked nightmare. The guests realize they aren't just celebrating love, they're fighting to survive. As the bodies pile up and the vows turn to screams, one thing becomes one thing becomes someone in the wedding party is keeping a deadly secret with nowhere to run, and the night spiraling into chaos. The bride, the groom, and their closest friends must uncover the truth before they take their final dance. Because at this wedding, the last kiss isn't with the love of your life; it's with cold steel. You may now kiss the knife. I like that pun. But yeah. So that sounds really interesting as well, and I'm very intrigued by it. So here's another book that I feel like I've had on my TBR forever actually. So no, it is not a new release by any means. But it is an indie read, and it's called The Fires of Treason by Michelle Quirk, and I think there are 2 books in the series. I think it's just a duology. And if I remember correctly, it's about I've had this on my TBR for so long. It's like a brother sister, and the sister gets kind of like thrown out of the kingdom, so the brother decides to follow. And I'm pretty sure there's some sort of forbidden romance with the sister with someone else, obviously. And I'm very intrigued. And I added this on my TBR, like I said, forever ago. So I'm excited to finally read it at some point. This one I feel like I've had on my TBR for a bit, but not nearly as long, which is Stars Begin to Burn by Shelby Elizabeth. Riley Madison is a shifter, one of the human population born with the ability to transform into the animal they most closely resemble, their spirit animal. Knowing you're a spirit animal means knowing what kind of person you are. Most shifters identify their spirit animal by puberty. Riley's approaching 17 and still doesn't know hers, a fact that's beginning to worry her. She befriends Tristan Dawes, another shifter in the same situation, and quickly finds their fates are connected when she sees an outline of a star in his eyes. A man named Christopher has a master plan for the 3 shifters marked by the stars in their eyes. He needs them to identify their spirit animals in order to bring about his life's work, and is willing to do whatever it takes to make them. At first, he tries subtly. When that fails, he targets Riley's family. As Riley grows closer to identifying her spirit animal, her mother receives a cryptic phone call and disappears to find her father. The shifters draw closer to a war with elementalists, humans with the ability to control one of the elements, and Riley finds herself fighting for the first time in her life against elementalists, shifters, and even her own family. So definitely interesting. It's the first book in the series as well, and like I said, this one's been on my TBR for a bit, but not nearly as long, and I'm excited for this one as well. And then the last book on the list is Servants of the Moon and Sun series by Joel C. Flanagan Graham. He literally just published book 5 today, and the series does seem interesting. Talia, the young iridescent winged heir to the fairy realm, and Prince Bastille, the heir to the human realm, have embarked on a forbidden love affair, and their choices will have consequences for both their worlds. After a stunning betrayal, Talia and her 8 ladies and her heir's guard, 9 female fairy soldiers, bravely set off on a journey through the fairy realm in search of answers about the exiled queen, a reviled ancestor. However, Talia's evil aunts, the 3 sisters, and others in both the fairy and human court stand in her way, not understanding the ancient prophecy that Talia is destined to fulfill. Will Talia be able to save both the fairy and human realms from the devastations of another war? And yeah, I thought this was interesting. So all these books I really want to read. I don't know when I'll be able to read some of them, but some of them I'm hoping to read soon too. So we shall see. And at least for the indie books, I always do indie vlogs. I posted an indie vlog not that long ago, and I'm working on another one as I read indie books. So usually you can see me reading my thoughts as I'm reading the indie books. So, and I also always end up doing indie book reviews. So eventually you'll see when I post the book review or the reading vlog if I end up reading them. So I'll definitely let you know what I think of these books as I read them. I'm so excited for all of them. Obviously, some of them more than others, but some of them are a little biased too because I've already read the series. But some of these I might end up feeling the same way once I actually, start reading them, which they're on my TBR. So hopefully, but no promises because, life gets in the way sometimes. But I'm so excited to get to these eventually, and I can't wait because I am finally feeling motivated to get some reading done, and I really want to get some of these books off my TBR. So I'll let you know how they go. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, comment if you've read any of these, if you want to read any of these, and I will chat with you guys below. Until next time.